just about ready to set Ma Jenkins in its place. Now I dry fitted it right here on its platform, and I have the 40 thousandths styrene sitting there with the transfer tape on it, but I haven't taken the tape off yet. That's what we're going to do now. I'm going to take the tape off, set the buildings down into place, and then put the scenic material on it. So I started off with a little bit of gravel and a little bit of the moss. The moss shows up like weeds, like it did on Lutz right here. I set the moss in first and then put the gravel in, and you can see what it looks like right there. Not too shabby. So I'm going to do the same thing on this one right here. And I think the last thing I'm going to do is, I didn't put this one on the base, but I think what I'll do, since these two fit together like that, I'll make a base with styrene for these also, so it'll be up just as high as the other ones, and then I'll be able to scenic around everything. But this is basically how everything's going to look right here. I have Wicked Wandas and Dollies over there. I might move it over just a little bit. And here's another Dollies that I picked up at a train show for $5. Not too bad. Already made up. So that's going to go way in the back here. And this one here also, Mo Skeeters, this is going to go right here. This is a plastic building, but it looks really good. And it's lit. It has a LED up on the top with a little JST connector in it. It's a little different than the ones I use, but we'll get it to work. So that wasn't bad for $5 there also. So I'm finally getting finished with this, where I'm going to start working on another kit. I think I showed what I was going to do on the live stream the other night. I have 3 Bar Mills kits left. Clark's Wood Products was one that I showed some time ago before I did the Cigar Corner, and viewers chose Cigar Corner over this. So here's 2 small buildings, Papa Louie's Cigar Shop and Jack's Backyard. These 2 small ones will go good along this area right here. I might be able to squeeze it in, or maybe even put it over on this side over here, and then put the Clark's Wood Products next to it on this side right here, because this is where I did scenery in the background, and so I need to fill in that area, but we're just concentrating on this right now. So I'm going to get started on taking the tape off of here and doing the scenic material. I brought the base over to the workbench so I could remove the tape on it and apply the buildings to it, and then put some of this moss on here. So let me go over to this side right here, and here we go. Let me get my knife to make this a little bit easier. I got to make sure that the tape is on here good and tight on the styrene first before I peel the backing off. doesn't have a base on it. See, Hawkins is just plain like that. So the way I'll do this is I'll hold my finger down in here to line it up as closely as I can. And make sure I get it square before I let it set in. So there we go, right there. Alright, so I got a little bit of space in the back and in the front right there, and I'll be able to stick the gravel underneath the railing and make sure this railing is out right there. Push that down in there so it's good and tight. Okay, now I can set Hawkins in its place. And I'll just line it up. There's a good starting point right there on the edge of the roof, and I'll just drop it down straight. Oops. Like that, so we have access to the bottom on both of them, so we can put lights in there. And I'm not worried about putting the lights in yet. You know, I could just stick them up in there with straws. Thanks to a tip from Steeler fan Frank McQuillan. So I'm going to just take some of the small pieces of moss, break it off, and put it on here to represent weeds right next to the building. So okay, now that I got the weeds in place, let me show you what it looks like here. And try not to touch too much of the adhesive, so I could put the gravel on. And you see I got it underneath the stairs. Maybe I should put one underneath the other support for the stairs. Right there. Got some stray pieces here. I'll stick it over there. Okay, there we go, underneath the stairs. Alright, now I'm going to take it back over to the layout and put the gravel on it. I already added a little bit of the leftover gravel that was over here on the side. Let me grab a little bit more of it so I could spread it along. In the back and stuff. And just okay. And what I did was I had the coarse soil in here, but I didn't have enough, so I added some of the fine and then put a little bit of gravel in with it. Because the coarse is a little bit too coarse, and I don't have any of the medium left. So we'll just sprinkle some of this on here, over here on the sides. Get it over here, okay. And there's going to be some left over that are dripped down, and we'll hit that later with some glue. Okay, to make sure we get back in there underneath the steps. Got a lot in there, so what we'll do is just move this around. And then we'll get the excess off and then brush it off. And use that for the rest of it. See, some of it, there's some larger stones in there. That's from the coarse, which was a little bit too big for my funnel, so and I didn't want to sift it all through, so I'm going to have to get some more medium, order some more medium next time, because the fine is a little bit too fine. Okay. Alright. So that should do it to cover up all around the building. Oh, I still got one little spot on there by the door. Let me get that. And then once we get ready to scenic the whole entire area, we'll go back over it the way we normally do ballast and stuff like that, with the spray it with some alcohol, but protect the building's finish. Okay, over here a little bit. And you can rub it around to make sure you got all the places. But once we're, like I said, once we're ready to scenic the entire area, we'll do it, add more to it. And right now I'm not going to add the base to this one over here. We'll do this another time. I'm going to get ready for the Workbench Wednesday. just leave this pile right here for right now. And set this in place. And we got to make sure that we can see the billboards on here. There's a billboard on that one, there's a billboard on that one, so we might tilt it this way a little bit. Tilt these out this way. There we go. That's better like that. Okay. So I think that's it.